Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the City Skylines Beginner's Guide. Today we are going to be working on our international airport, and I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I've been working on it for quite a bit, trying to get a design that I felt good about. And so we are going to be using this square right here. And before we jump in, I did want to go over just a couple small changes. I adjusted some of our metro lines. Our main metro line that ends up running through the whole city had like 17 trains, and a lot of them were not very full. So I decided to adjust them down a bit to kind of create a bigger gap between trains. And it just helps your metro lines to stay more efficient rather than them blocking each other up at the stations and stuff. So on the last episode, we did our natural disasters once. We did some bunkers over here. We did bunkers throughout the whole city. We did radio masts. We added in some new water features for our water plant. We added in some more buildings to our water treatment plant, as well as a couple power plants over here. And I felt like it was a really fun episode. It definitely kind of showcased what the natural disasters DLC has and kind of its shortfalls as well, though it is a fun DLC. If you're into destroying your cities, it's something that I've done quite a few times. Just have like a meteor strike, attack your whole city, have a bunch of them or something like that. And so it adds a different aspect to the game, but let's go ahead and jump right in. So we are going to be utilizing this square. So the first thing we need to do is go down to this little circle, click it, and we are going to grab this. And so it's 20,000. You can kind of see we really don't have a ton of resources. We do have some oil though, which could be good because we are currently importing our oil, but our oil is still pretty profitable. So we're profiting about 65,000 a week, and we only have an import cost of 8,000. So I don't think we're going to be messing around with that. This airport is going to be huge. So in relation to real airports in real life, this game's scale is a little off, as I'm sure many of you have already maybe experienced. International airports are massive though, and so they do tend to engulf a very large portion of the city. What I typically end up using is probably about a square's worth, and honestly, if I was playing with unlimited squares, it would probably even encompass some of these squares as well, so maybe 3 squares total. But the bulk of it is just going to fit within this one square. The first thing we need to do, if you're new to the Airports DLC, you have unlocked a few things. So if you go down to the Transport tab, you now have this Airport Area tab, and a lot of it's going to be blacked out because you haven't unlocked anything yet. You have to, actually all of it, we have to draw in an airport area. So if you go down to your Districts and Areas tool, you now have a new one all the way down here. So paint Airport Area and erase Airport Area. So one of the things that this does is, so if we go all the way up, it levels out the ground as well, because the ground needs to be flat for an airport. What I normally recommend is to just flatten it out with the regular tool. And the reason for this is because it tends to work a little bit better. The tool that's built into the District and Areas tool makes really jaggedy edges. And so it makes it so that you have to come back and kind of clean it up anyways. So what I'll do is just come through here and kind of level all this out. And we really don't want to mess with this water too much. I initially was playing around with some designs to have it kind of creep into the airport, but playing without mods made it so that it generally didn't look as good. I could have done a couple little ponds, but my the design that I settled on is just going to be going around the pond, so it is still going to be a big part of our airport. It's just not going to be the centerpiece. And so now that we have that leveled out, let's go back to our Districts and Areas tab, and we can come over here. Let's go ahead and level all this out. And one of the cool things with this is it does erase trees. And so there is a forest brush tool within the game, and for some reason they hid it behind this airport tool. But it does allow you to remove all those trees in a really convenient way. And so now that we have that, what we can do is start thinking about our design. So normally whenever I'm looking at airports, I actually go online and I look for a ton of inspiration. So there's a few things to consider. You want to consider delays, flight times, how busy your airport's going to be, how convenient it is for people to travel within the airport. And so generally, whenever you have like separated terminals, you can increase travel time between terminals. And so it is something that you want to consider. A lot of the airports I've done in the past did have separated terminals, but it is something that we're going to try to minimize as much today. We're going to do one large terminal, and then we're going to do an island terminal in the middle to kind of expand upon our space. And so I do also generally do a freeway connection to these. They can generate a ton of traffic. I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks that I utilize to dampen the traffic a bit. So the first thing we need to do is draw out our terminal, and then we're going to start messing around with our road layouts a bit. So what I want to do, I'm thinking probably about like right here, and I want to do a big curve. So we need to leave room on either side for our runways. So we're going to go ahead and go like right here. And then what I'm thinking is we're going to go ahead and demolish probably 2 on either side. We'll go like this, go like that. And let's go back into that transport tab. Now that we have drawn in our airport area, we've unlocked a few buildings. So these are the 3 different types of terminals. So we have the classic airport terminal, we have the modern airport terminal, and we have the ultra modern airport terminal. I believe that's it for right now. Yeah, once we place these down, then we do unlock a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and use the ultra modern 2-story building. I really like this one. I generally only use the other ones in like smaller regional airports. So I want to try to line that up as best I can. And I actually went on the wrong side. But you can see right as you place that down, you unlock quite a few buildings. So we got our small parked plane, 2 of them. We have a classic control tower. We have 2 of them actually, one for the ultra modern and one for the classic. And then we have the airport bus station and the small aircraft stand. And so we have already unlocked quite a bit. So let's go ahead and flip this around now because I want the road to be on this side. I don't know what I was thinking with that. So let's go ahead and grab this. I want to try to line it up as best I can with that road. It's kind of tricky because it's on a curve, and so now we have another thing that we have unlocked is this ultra modern airport concourse. So we want to grab that. We're going to go into the freeform tool and we are going to make sure that it is straight. We're going to come all the way across, go just like that. And so I do want to kind of continue on this a little bit, and you can kind of see we mess up that curve just a smidge. I'm not too worried about it. We're going to come back through here and delete these roads. So we're not going to use this road as the anchor point, but we do want to make sure that it still kind of looks good from a distance. So maybe if we come in here and let's kind of fix this. We may have encroached on our airstrip a little bit over there. This is, I mean, quite a bit bigger than what I was initially planning, but I think this is still going to work out for our purposes. So now what we're going to use is this 3-lane one-way road. And if I was playing with mods, I would utilize the one that comes with the bus lanes, but for some reason we don't have that in here. Even though they used it to build the model, they didn't, for some reason, put it in the game. And so now we're going to come up over here. And what I want to do is create kind of like a centerpiece for this because we need to be mindful of a few things. So I want this to come down here. I want to put our cargo terminal down here, and the cargo terminal is pretty big. And so we want to pretty much leave almost all of this space available, and we want it to have access to our airstrip over here. So we want to kind of do the same thing over here, have it kind of curve around, go like this, and then let's go ahead and have it just loop up, and then we will have it come down here. Let's go ahead and see if that's straight. So that's pretty close. I mean, it's not perfect, but honestly, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it to be perfect. So now what I want to do is we're going to grab a road, and we're going to come up here, and we're going to go straight. We're going to go like that. And then what we're going to do is go into a smaller two unit road. We'll go like this, go out 1 and go out 1. And what we're going to utilize is something from the Bridges and Piers content creator pack. And so on the next episode, we're actually going to be diving into what all these content creator packs encompass. But I did go ahead and bring this one in because I really like this building a lot. I like to utilize these in airports. And this is definitely my favorite metro terminal by a pretty long margin. And so now we'll come in here. Let's go ahead and connect up these top roads because it looks like we may be a little bit too close on that. So if I grab this and come all the way across. So let's go. I'm going to move this back just a smidge. Okay, so I shifted it back. And so now we can come back into this and go to our 3-lane one-way. And we should be able to just connect this up pretty easily now. Yeah, if we go like that, and let's go ahead and hook up the upper deck as well, just so that we don't forget about it. So we'll go like that. And so now what I would like to do is go ahead and give this other road access. So we're going to go ahead and bring this all the way up. We're going to connect it. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And we don't really need those to be one way. So what we're going to utilize is this 2-unit 4-lane road. This is definitely one of my favorite roads. Especially in real life cities, you do tend to see these smaller 4 lanes a lot. You really only see those 2 lanes if you're within like a residential area or something. So now that we have that, what I would like to do is create a connection down here. So we are going to grab this, and I would really like to get all of these into this one connection. We may come back and adjust this. And so it looks like this one's a little off. So what we're going to do is just bring that back a smidge, and we need to come off from the corner. So we'll go like that. And let's go ahead and bring this back just a little bit. And we're going to redraw it in over here. Yeah, so if we go like that, let's see how that looks. So we definitely messed up our curve just a bit on this one. So if we come back here, redo this, we should be able to get a little bit better of a connection. Yeah, if we go like that, perfect. Nice. And so this is definitely going to be a high volume intersection. It's definitely not the greatest. I'm not too worried about this direction though, because we're only going to put some support buildings and stuff like that. It generally would be parking if I was playing with mods. There's not really any parking assets in the vanilla game, unless you want to play whack-a-mole with the organic and local produce buildings, which I don't really particularly like to do. Another thing that we could have done is just had these kind of dump into the roads separately, but I think that this is going to provide a really nice symmetrical look. And so let's grab our road now, and we are going to come off this way. We're going to go like right here, and I'd actually like to get this underground. So if we go underground right here and have our interchange kind of dip underground, let's actually bring that back just a bit. We will come up right here and let's go down. So we want to go like right here, and let's go ahead and just turn this so that it is perpendicular with our freeway. And so what I'm going to do is jump into our highway roads. I'm just going to do a basic 2 flyovers and 2 connections over here that are going to dip under the ground and connect up to that. Okay, and so here it is. I got a couple flyunders. We can view underground as well. Let's go ahead and jump into our roads. You can kind of see I just had this one dip down. We really don't have any crazy curves. I would go in and create some lane priorities here so that people can't turn around. We would really want this traffic to be free flowing through this intersection, but it's going to provide a really clean connection. And the reason we did that is because we want to provide some taxiways that can come through here and access our cargo terminal over here. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and start placing down some of our buildings. We're going to come back through and do some decorations in here. I have a really fun idea to do some checkers and stuff like that. But we need this to start leveling up. So if we go into transport, go back to our airports tab, the only airport stand we have available right now is the small aircraft stand, which really isn't the end of the world. We're going to treat this as if it were more realistic and say that the airport would be upgrading over time. So we're going to go ahead and do small aircraft stands all the way down. All right, so now that we got those, what we can do is grab our taxiways and let's go ahead and connect all these up all the way down. And you can kind of see it's curving a little bit. It's because of that freeform tool. So we want this to go down. I'm actually going to turn on snapping so that we can get it a little bit cleaner. And then what I'm going to do is actually change the orientation of them. So we will go into the upgrade tool, going to hold that right mouse button and go all the way down to about the middle. So we'll go like right there. And then let's go ahead and go out 2. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, 2 is probably good. And then we'll come out here as well, go out 2, and then we'll go out to the end as well and go out 2. And then what we can do is go ahead and connect these up. So we'll grab that, have this go all the way across. And so the idea here is that the planes can come in here, go to their taxiways, come up through this middle, and then choose their respective runway that they're going to be going to. So now we do need to do our runways as well. And you really want to be careful with these. There is a glitch in the game where you can't delete these, and so it is kind of a hassle. In my test builds, I kept having to like reset the map because I couldn't delete the airfield. It was kind of frustrating. And so now we will come up over here, and this is going to be a smaller airfield. And so one of the things you want to keep in mind with these, in real life, airfields are not one way like this. They're bi-directional, and the reason they do that is because wind is a huge factor in planes, whether they're taking off or landing, and so the wind for the day will determine which direction they're going, which airfield they're using, and stuff like that. Within this game, we have one-way airfields. It's probably just easier for them to build the DLC like that. So we're going to go ahead and go like this, and what we're going to do is utilize that same direction. I really don't want it to go towards our buildings. I feel like it would just make more sense down here. And so we want it to start like right there, and we're going to come all the way down. This is going to be our big airstrip. So we're going to go like that. So now we got a little small one. Maybe this is for our small planes or little prop planes or something. Maybe even like an executive terminal. And then we have a large one over here. But then we also we left some space for us to maybe do multiple taxiways. So we can come in here and bring this out and go all the way down. And I want to connect it up with it. And so again, normally in real life, you would have your taxiways much farther than this because of the limitations of space in this game. It just makes it really hard for us to be able to do something like that. So we want this to now go up, and we're going to have this kind of blanket. Maybe we'll go like right there. And the reason we have that is because these, again, are one way, and so the planes are kind of stuck. You have to create separate lanes. Let's go ahead and grab this now. We're going to have this one come all the way down as well. So we'll have this go like right there, and we'll have this come all the way down. And this is going to be the primary taxiway for our cargo terminal down here. And so now that we got those in, what we can do is start connecting these up. So if we grab this, let's go ahead and curve this in, and then let's go ahead and go up as well. Let's go like this. We'll go ahead and connect it up right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and connect this up with the next one. And I want this to connect up cleanly with this. We'll grab this, go across, and then flip these around. We'll go like that. And you normally would have these at a curve. You wouldn't have these tight 90-degree angles, at least in a lot of the airports I've seen. You would have more of a curvature to a lot of the taxiways to allow the planes to make easier turns. It is tough to do, again, without mods. And so these things are bound by their nodes. And so what you would have to do, and I think we can actually do it, but it just creates a little bit more work. So if you grab this and then come down here and then connect this up. Problem now though is it doesn't want us to connect that up. So it's good. So now we can flip that. And there we go. So now we have a little bit of a better angle for those planes. So as they're coming on, they can just kind of bank onto that. Let's go ahead and do that for this one as well. And so now that we have that, let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to draw in our taxiways real quick and then we'll connect up those where the terminals are. Okay, so we got that in. You can kind of see I changed this around a bit. So I had to do a little bit of a sharper angle on this one because these are planes coming in, and then I ended up doing a more gradual angle coming from this direction because they're planes coming this way. So we would definitely want that to be the same on this one. I definitely kind of messed up on that, so we want to switch the orientation of this. So I think that looks pretty good. We're going to come back through here and do a little trick with these to make them look a little bit more realistic. So we have a freeway connection, we have our small airplane stands. We haven't decorated anything yet, which is a big part of leveling up your area. We have some hotels, some small airplane stands. We have a few things. We do need to get a couple of these ATC towers. So because we have 2 runways, what I'm going to do is place a couple of these smaller ones. And I had people in the past tell me that a lot of times you generally only have one large one or a bunch of smaller ones depending on the layout of the airfield. And so it really does depend. And so we do need to connect up these other roads real quick. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go into our freeform tool and I'm going to follow this road around this curve. I really want it to kind of hug that road. So we'll come up like right here and we'll come around. And then now that I'm right here, what I want it to do is kind of branch off just a bit so that we can go down. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side, but it looks like we're going to be a little bit tighter. So we do need to flip this around as well. We'll grab this, go all the way around, and then these are going the right direction. These are going the right direction, except for these ones right here. So go ahead and flip that. So now we should be pretty good. Now I need to do some water and then electricity real quick. We have pretty much everything hooked up. We do need to do our metro line though. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into transport, go to metro, and we're going to go to our metro tracks. Let's go ahead and go underground just so that we can see better. And what I'm going to do is just create a couple small connections off of this. We really don't need to get crazy, but we do want to provide good access over here. So we're going to go ahead and line this up, and then we will connect this up. And then let's go ahead and do a separate connection on here. So we will grab this, come all the way down here, and then connect it up. Nothing too fancy. You really don't need to get crazy with it again. You just want to provide that access. So now we're going to grab that line. We're going to come all the way up here, do a stop right there, and then we're going to grab the opposite direction as well. And so we definitely don't really need this intermediary road anymore, but we're going to go ahead and keep it there for maybe, like say there's some sort of disaster or something at the airfield or something like that to where they shut down this station, they would still have that other access. I really don't think that the city would pay to demolish that tunnel. I think that would be a huge loss to the taxpayers. And so now that we have that, we should be able to unpause. Let's go ahead and see if we get any planes in here. Let's check out our taxiways. Normally you get planes right away. So we got taxiways coming in here. We got our taxiways going out. So they have access to our airfield going this way, going that way. And let's see. So we haven't got any buildings. It's electricity, man, right after I talked about it. So we're going to grab this and we're going to follow our road down. We're going to have to come back through here and fix this because once we get that cargo terminal in, this is not going to fly. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and unpause. Let's let that generate some electricity and we should start to get to see our planes. Nice. Look at that. And so it's kind of funny, right when you unpause it, just spawns a ton of planes. I don't know if they're like test flights or something, or maybe it's supposed to be like planes that are housed here or something like that. We should be able to see if we have any issues with our taxiways now. It looks like everything is running pretty good. I actually really like this design. I think this is fun. So all we need to do now is literally just let it upgrade. So we've got our attractiveness. We just need to get our passengers in here. So let's go ahead and grab our road and see if we have. So we have people utilizing all of these. Let's see if. So none of those yet. So we'll come in here. So it looks like, yeah, these people are coming in here. It looks like they're even using our metro stop in there, which is cool. In my test builds, this became like super popular, really popular option. People were just walking down instead of getting out in a car, which really helps out our traffic quite a bit. I think this can be a really fun design though. I do maybe want to play around with some of these taxiways a bit, but so far I think this is going to look really cool. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and start playing around with this middle section a bit. I do want to get a couple of the smaller hotels in here. So if we actually backpedal a little bit, because I think we unlocked the small ones. We did. So let's go ahead and we're going to do one right there, and then we're going to come over here and do one right there, one right there. So we have, it's kind of cool. They all came out separate colors too. So we got the red team and we got the yellow team over here. Let's do a small road as well. If I was playing with mods, I definitely would utilize a 1-unit road. But let's bring this down. And the reason we're doing this is just to provide that access behind there. I'm going to go ahead and line this up, and then I'm going to do a road on the opposite side as well. And voila, now we have access. Let's go ahead and connect these up just to provide that walkability and that accessibility over here. So I do want to kind of mimic this pattern going along with paths. And so we're going to grab this. I want to try to stick to about 4 squares wide. And the reason we're doing this is because it's just going to create a fun pattern in here that's going to look good. It's one of the things with airports a lot of times is cities try to outdo themselves or try to outdo other cities with designs. And so a lot of times you'll see like really exorbitant kind of crazy designs with airports that just look really cool. All right, and so the reason I did that was to create a little bit of a pattern in here to give us to make it more aesthetically pleasing, but also, I mean, it does provide a little bit of walkability. I really don't know how many people are going to utilize those paths, but now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and let this run. We need to let this wait. Most of everything else we need to do just relies on us reaching that 500 passenger count. And we're not really getting any passengers yet. So we got a couple cars coming in. It looks like, I mean, they're definitely going to start coming. I mean, you got a lot of people coming from the city right now. And what's cool is they're actually kind of being spread out. So we got some people coming from this direction. We got some people coming from over here. All right, so we have reached level 2. We've gotten the large hangar, the luxury airport hotel, which is really cool, the classic large terminal, classic concourse, the modern large terminal, modern concourse, and also the airport metro station, the aviation fuel station. Man, we got a lot. So the airport airline lounge, the medium parked planes, it looks like 3 different versions, but then also the ultra modern concourse hub and the large terminal, and also the medium aircraft stand. Nice. We can start placing down some medium aircrafts. I don't know if we're going to do that just yet, but we may. I want to do that medium concourse right here. We're going to kind of dredge up some of this lake and do the medium concourse. So now let's go ahead and look at what we got. So we got a couple hotels in, we got our aircraft stand. So yeah, I think we're going to do that concourse. So I want to use this ultra modern concourse hub, and I want to put it like right here. So what we need to do first is go ahead and level out just a little bit of our lake. We don't want to take out too much of it. We actually still ended up taking out quite a bit. We are going to get just a little bit of flooding. It's coming this way to our poor planes. They'd probably have to shut down the airfield for this. And so now let's go back here and let's actually backpedal. So we need to bring this across. You can kind of see that jagged edge, what I was talking about before with using that tool. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and grab this. And I want to put it like right here. We'll go like right there. And it does look like we need to still take out just a little bit more of this. So we did kind of mess up our lake just a bit, but it's still going to look good, especially once all this brown turns green again. You just got to kind of wait this out. So now what we need to do is go into our airport concourse, and we are going to bring out 2 on either side, but I want it to kind of follow along our current design. So we're going to go like that. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We'll grab that. And it does look like we probably could have went just a little bit further this way, but I don't think it's the end of the world. We did kind of go a little bit further out than I was hoping, but now that we got that, let's go ahead and do our medium airplane stands. We're going to grab them and put them on this side. And so now we can come in here, go to our freeform tool. Let's go ahead and turn on snapping just so that we don't get any weird angles out of this. Go like this, come all the way across, connect it up, and then let's go ahead and bring this back, and this is going to be an in, so we definitely need it to go like right there. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did before, and that's going to provide access to this area, which is very important. So now let's go ahead and grab this. We will go this way, and then we will come up this way. So let's flip these around. And the reason I did that little curve is because we want to provide people access if they're coming up this road and have to make that left turn. So now they have access down here, which is fantastic. We do need to get our water pipes in here, and water pipes with these are kind of tricky. And so I normally just go across, then follow the taxiway down. We do need to get electricity though too, and having power lines in here is incredibly unrealistic. So what I'm going to do is go into emergency services. We're going to go to disaster services, and we're actually going to utilize that earthquake sensor that we'd used with the natural disasters DLC. And the reason we're doing this is because these are kind of like a fake power box. So if we go in there and kind of see, we still got a little lapse. So if we grab this and connect that up, what it's going to do is bridge the electricity across without us having to do large power lines, which would be very terrible for this area. So I do want to connect up these taxiways to each other in more ways than just that one as well. So if we grab this and have this go that way, and let's go ahead and grab this, have this go that way, So now we have just a little bit more access. This really isn't a great turn for anybody coming off of this way. No, that's probably the best we're going to get. It's a little bit sharp for what I was hoping for, but all right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and look at some of our other buildings. We can start building out this lower section. So if we come down here and look, so we got the airplane hangars and we got the large hotel. It'd be really nice if we could get the large hotel somewhere down here. I think that would be a nice look. So let's grab our taxiways. And we are going to start building out our lower section down here. So if we grab this, let's go ahead and bring this all the way around. And then let's go ahead and get our small road in here. And this would just be like maintenance access. So we're going to do some hangars and stuff off of the backside of this. So if we go back to our taxiways, let's go ahead and go up this way and then have it just come back. Using these one-ways is kind of tricky. I'm not entirely certain that these would... I think taxiways and real airports are not one-ways. It looks like we're a little bit off. So we need to probably bring this back. So let's go ahead and do our hangars first. So if we do hangar right there, and then what I would like to do is grab that road and have it come down here. If we go like that, and we're a little bit off, so we need to grab this. And this would be so that all of your maintenance workers can make it back to the hangars and stuff like that. And then we would probably do parking in here. But again, because we don't have satisfactory parking in this game, it's something that we're just going to have to deal without. And so I do want to connect up our other taxiway over here though. So if we grab this, let's go ahead and bring this across, and we do need to do a couple more little power boxes because these aren't going to connect. So if we go like that, that should bridge the connection, I'm hoping. And so now we have a taxiway that comes down here. I would like to get another one that goes the opposite direction. I think we'll probably maybe have this loop down here and connect up with this, just so that we could get the access over here for the cargo planes. We really don't want this airfield just being congested with all the cargo planes. And so now let's go ahead and check on our airport area and see how close we are. So we got our attractiveness up, which is fantastic. We're just waiting on our passengers now, and it looks like we are really close, only about 250 away. And we're actually using 66% of our available planes at the moment, which is fantastic. One of the things you'll see once we get our large planes in is that number is going to drop down drastically. And it's just because of the size of our city. We really don't have the population to support such a large airport at this time. But as we expand out more, we will begin to make more money on it and stuff like that. So I kind of wish that this was a little bit better. That curve is just kind of bothering me. So we have hit level 3, which is the max level for airports. So we have got the aviation museum, some more parked planes. Looks like we got the cargo ones and the large planes. We have the airport train station, the cargo airport terminal, which is what we were looking for. And then the airline headquarters, which is really important. In order for you to actually profit off of your airport, you need to have the airline headquarters. And it's kind of a weird thing. You definitely would still have tax revenue off of the airport, but for some reason in this game, it doesn't register that. And so we do have the cargo aircraft stands and also the train station, which I do think is better. We're actually going to be switching this out. And so now that we have that, let's go ahead and come down here. We're going to pause because we're going to be making some big changes. So we need to delete all this, and we're going to delete this back to probably about like right there. We're actually going to delete this road as well. I want to create as much space as I can for this cargo terminal. I really don't want it to be crowded in here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and level out a space all the way up to that edge. And then let's go ahead and check out our cargo terminal now and see what kind of space we're working with. If we grab this, looks like we need to expand out our airport area. So we'll come out like this, bring this all the way down, and then check out this building now. Yeah, so we're pretty good. We definitely left a little bit of space up there. We're still pretty tight, but I don't think it's the end of the world. So what we'll do is we will grab this and have it go like right there. And then let's place down our cargo stands to see what we're really working with in terms of space. So if we grab this, and we could do more than 4, you have one of the things that you unlock is these cargo airport roads. So we're able to just grab this and kind of branch it off. And it is something that you can utilize instead of utilizing this big terminal. You can just use these bigger roads, which is actually kind of cool. Like it does create a fun look, especially if you're doing like a smaller cargo airport. Because this is our international airport and our only cargo airport in the city, it is something that I want to avoid. I want to do this larger one. And so now what we will do is go ahead and grab our taxiways. And what I would like to do is just connect these up. So we'll go all the way down, and I didn't want that one to turn, so I'm going to try to fix that. So what I'm going to do is delete these roads so that I can get this one perfect. So if we go like that and then have it turn, go like this. And then we do need to have these go the opposite way. So go like this, go like this. Whenever planes are coming out of taxiways, they can back up down one ways like this. And so these are all good to go, and it looks like they got access down there too, which is fantastic. So I do also want to create our cargo train station over here. If we grab this, so airport cargo station, let's grab our road now. Grab a one-way, let's do 3-lane one-way. We're gonna have this come all the way down. We'll probably go like right there. We'll go like this, and then we do need to kind of play around with our lines a bit. Let's go ahead and bring this back, and then let's grab our slope tool. So we'll go in here to the slope terrain. We'll decrease that brush size a little bit and hit right click right there and have this kind of loop around, just so that we can provide a little bit of a safer grade for those trains. We do also need to get one for this as well. And so now we can go into trains, grab this, and I want to connect both of them up. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this first. Let's actually go a little bit wide on this one. So we'll go like that and then go ahead and go straight. What we can do is have this go straight for just a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off snapping so that we can get it parallel with that road. You can kind of see it was just a little bit off. So if we go like that and then loop it in right there, perfect. Now we have 2 access points, which is fantastic, and we can go underground here because this is the one that goes to our cargo terminal over by the water. We'll go ahead and do the same thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and go underground, go like this, and then I'm just going to connect it up with this curve. All right, so we got those in, and I would like to get a couple roads in here as well, just so that we can get some warehouses and other support buildings in here. And then what we can do with that is just put a couple warehouses in here. Was kind of hoping to have a little bit more space in this, and then what we're going to utilize these for is commercial zone goods. So we'll do commercial zone goods and put it on empty. They'll still fill up quite a bit because we don't have a lot of commercial zone goods warehouses in the city. But I think that this is going to be a nice little fit for this area. I do wish that we could just get one more over there. It's kind of frustrating, but I think it looks good. And so let's go ahead and have this come across as well. And then we will come up over here and then have this loop back. Maybe we'll do a couple more warehouses, but I want to get a few more of the hangars in here. So we'll grab our hangars, go to these small ones. And it looks like we're just a little bit off in terms of space. We need to get about 2 more squares down. So let's go back and do the same thing that we had to do before and just delete these and then put in our small hangars and then have this come up. Nice. And so let's see if we can fit any more warehouses in here. It looks like it's going to be a little tight. It's not the end of the world though. We can put some trees or something in there, maybe even some fences, make it look more industrious. I do also want to get some parked planes in. We could have actually put just a couple in there. So let's delete just a few of these, and then I'm going to put in a couple of these larger parked cargo planes. And so our airport is already coming together pretty nicely. We do need to still connect up these roads, so let's actually go back to being paused. Unpaused a little prematurely, so we will grab this, and then let's go ahead and connect this up, and then let's flip that the correct direction. And then let's come over here and do the same thing. So I think for this side, let's go, I think right here is probably good. So if we go right there and then slope this in, that might be a little too close, but let's see. We'll go to the curve tool, come up here, go like that, and then go ahead and go straight and see how steep that is. Yeah, that would be incredibly steep, especially for cargo trucks. So let's try that again. So we're gonna come down here. Yeah, you know what? It's still pretty steep, but I think the trucks would be able to make it. And so now we can unpause, and then I'm going to do water for this area real quick. All right, and so now we have our cargo hub going in. We have our airplanes doing pretty good. Let's check on our airfield. So not enough electricity. Oh, because we didn't connect this back up. Okay, and so I got water pipes in. It's kind of funny, after looking at that weird road right there, the taxiway, I was like, you know what? We don't need that. I would rather have our airline headquarters over here, as well as maybe some support, industrial building, stuff like that. Because we have the cargo center right here, it'd be fair to assume that maybe we'd get some factories or something in here that would kind of build next to maybe an industrial area. We don't want to fill up the whole area, as this still is the entryway to our airport, but I think having a few of them would be fitting. And so now what I would like to do is actually go in here and check this out. So we're at level 3. We're getting about 6,200. We've had 6,200 passengers, and we're actually at about 75% used with 25% not used. What I would like to do is put in our large taxiways. I just know that we're already not selling all of our seats. So I think what we're going to do is start working on this area. So I want to come in here and we're going to grab this 4-unit road, and we're actually going to bring this all the way down. It does look like we're going to have to rearrange some of our little power boxes over here. So we're going to go like that, and then we will grab this road, come all the way down, and I really don't want to connect it up right there. I wonder though, if we maybe bring this back and we'll delete that. And what we can do is possibly create a slope in here and have our cargo road actually connect up with this other road. Problem though is it's going to create two intersections right next to each other. So what we'll end up doing is moving the smaller road just to the side a bit. We don't need to do it a lot, but just enough to create some space in between these two intersections. So if we come up here and then we could even connect it up to this road. And then what we'll do is we will grab a regular 4-unit road and we're going to connect this up, go like that. Perfect. So now we've provided a little bit of access. It is a little bit more of a hassle for these truck drivers, but they can also just go in from here as well. They're not required to come back down here. And so this is going to help to split up traffic a bit. But this is also going to provide some nice accessibility to the airport over here rather than people being forced to go onto the freeway. So now if anybody's over here and they need to get to the airport, they can without having to get onto the freeway, which is definitely something that we want to encourage. We don't want to make it so that the freeway is the only connection. That could be bad. So what I want to do is create a nice little space for our airline headquarters. And the ones that I've done in the past, I've always tried to, do something fun. Because we're playing without mods and assets, we are definitely a little more limited than I've been in the past, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. We're going to end up still creating something fun in here. So I want to go like this. I want to create a little courtyard. And then what we're going to do is have some supporting buildings going around. I think I'm actually going to come off from the middle so that I can get it a nice even. So if I go like this and then come back, go like this. And then what we'll do is we're going to delete this and go back into our airport area tab. And we are going to grab our new airline headquarters building. And so I want to put this kind of like right in the middle if I can. Of course, we are one off, which is okay. If we're playing with Move It, I definitely would shift that over. Having it a little bit off is kind of frustrating. But so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this and we're going to come up here. We're going to connect that up. We're going to do the same thing on this side, connect it up. We'll probably make a couple other connections as well. We don't want just one connection in there. So I think it looks okay. I'm going to come back and fix this with the slope tool. I didn't need to do that, but just having it like that, it just makes it a little bit better. So we're going to end up putting in just a couple small offices. We don't have a huge industrial demand, so I don't think that we're going to get a lot of them in here just yet, but I think having at least a couple is going to be good. We're going to create like a little bit of an office park. So we'll go like this, and because of the ground, we're a little bit off over here, which is okay though. We're going to get just some varying shapes in these buildings. Could even possibly just get rid of that, do some plazas. So we're going to go ahead and use this flower plaza, and I think we're going to go ahead and mimic them on either side because I like the look of these. I like the purple tree in the middle. I think it provides a really nice kind of walking space. And so we'll now grab our path. And what I'm going to do is just do some paths across. And I'll probably have them connect up in the middle and then do some bushes and stuff. Kind of just make it look a little bit better. Okay, so here is our plaza. And I decided not to go too crazy with it. Just did some trees. I decided to do a statue with some benches and little planters going around it. Some pergolas. Some rocks in there. Just try to make it look realistic. I really like the entryway to this, so I think it is fantastic. And so we could end up doing something off the backside of this. Because it's so close to the freeway, though, I'm tempted to just leave it empty. We might end up just extending out like our industrial park. We could just have this go out and have it go around the backside. So if we go like this and then have it come up here and connect up with this road. Now our airline headquarters is right in the middle of this huge office park. And we'll probably end up doing another plaza over here. We could even have plazas on either end, like have just office buildings in the corners. We could even extend these out kind of like how this one's connected right here. But then I just end up doing plazas in here, probably even replicating this. Like if I had Move It mod, I'd probably just copy all this and move them all the way around. This would actually probably be a pretty top dollar office park with all the parks and everything and the amenities. They might even put in like a couple bigger buildings over here, like a museum or something like that, maybe even a unique building. Because of its location, I don't generally like it. It's an office park, but I think it could be fun. And so now what I want to do, let's go ahead while those build out. I don't really want to decorate anything else right there just yet. I want to come in here and we're actually going to grab this gravel path and we are going to line these across. And these tend to be something that you do see in airports. They're obviously not pathways, but they have like a separation where it'll typically be like green or something like that in between the taxiways. I don't know exactly what they're there for. If one of you guys do know why they have those, you can go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. But I think it makes it look a lot better. One of the people that I'd seen do this first was Imperator, and I thought it just looked really good, and so I wanted to get it going in my next airport. It's been a while since I've built an airport, but I think this is going to look cool. I'm going to go ahead and do these all the way around. Okay, so our airport is looking pretty good. I actually really like this. All right, so even though I think that it would be better to wait, I would rather just build these large airplane stands right now rather than pushing it onto a later date, so you guys can kind of see what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 on either side. And then we're going to have to do a taxiway kind of skirting that water. And then I think we're going to end up doing a quay wall in there just to kind of clean it up. So if we grab this, have this come down, let's go ahead and turn on snapping so that we can get a little bit of a better angle out of that. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. So we will grab it, have it come all the way up here. Yeah, like that's good right there. And then we do need to have a separate connection that's going to provide a way for these planes to get out of here, because right now they are stuck. So they're going to come in, they're going to drive this way, and then they can't go any further. So we do need to come in here. Let's go to our level terrain tool, and we're just going to have to shave off a bit of that water, and we're going to end up putting in a quay wall in here to make it look cool. Then we can go into our taxiways. I'm just going to go ahead and draw in a small taxiway that's going to allow them to exit in here. Okay, and so I drew in those taxiways. I did end up having to put in a little bit of a bank in here, but I think it's going to be good. Now we have those large airplane stands. We do need to hook up water over here, so if I grab this and just have it go across. All right, so now we got the large airplane stands, and so what I'm hoping is that this is going to boost our income on this a little bit more rather than our expenses, but we'll just have to wait and see. I did also rehook up our electricity for anybody who's like, he didn't reconnect it. I had forgotten and let it play, and then I was like, why is this not working? And then I realized what we had done. And so now we have our electricity hooked up. We have our little power boxes in the middle. We have our new area hooked up. And so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and jump into a detailing time lapse. I'm going to do a fence all the way around. I'm going to finish decorating this area. Probably going to do some trees and stuff in here, just kind of fill in some of the spaces. Airports do tend to do tree removal because trees can be homes to birds, and they can also just be a hazard to planes and airports in general. And so you don't tend to see a ton of trees around airports. There probably still are some, but I'm gonna leave most of them away from taxiways and also the airport center. And then what I'm gonna do is come in here and decorate these little slats in here. I want to do maybe like a cool design, just make it look really fun. And so I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. All right, and so after many hours, I am finally finished, and I did make a few really big changes. I decided to adjust our interchange over here. It was just a lot of empty space, and so I felt like putting it above ground just was more practical in this setting. And then I did accentuate it with some trees and some paths in the middle just to make it look a little bit better. I did also add in these ponds over here. Water is definitely one of my things that I've done pretty heavily in the past, and I felt like this was just a really good setting for it. I really like them, especially as you're coming in. You'd be driving around the ponds and it would just look really cool. I did also go a little bit crazy. I put in one of the pedestrian glass plazas right here, and then did some paths, a couple little plazas on the side, some bushes kind of accentuating the paths. I did some pergolas back here, and you can see our metro station is just jammed. This other line right here is actually the line that goes all the way over to our concourse terminal over here. And so now you can see just a ton of people using this, and I love seeing all these people utilizing the paths. I did also go through and pretty much delete all of our taxiways just to make them look a little bit better. I wanted to have them try to be more symmetrical before I felt like they just didn't look as good. I did also change the direction of a lot of them. So like now they come in the middle and then go out towards the stands. And then other various details, like I did rock some trees around here. I did also intermix some residential and commercial in here because we were just having some issues with none of it really growing. We're still waiting for some of it to grow, and so you can kind of see some empty spaces. I didn't want to put in trees and then later have to come back and like delete them or something like that. And so I think this looks really good. Airports definitely are one of my favorite aspects of this game. I love just coming up with different designs and stuff. I have a whole playlist on my channel for all the airport builds that I've done. I've done quite a few at this point. Some of them actually are pretty fun to watch. I definitely recommend checking them out. If you're interested, I'll go ahead and throw one up on your screen right now. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.